Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Town of Rhinebeck Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for October 16th, 2024. We do have a quorum here. We have all 5 board members, so that's great. It's great to have great attendance. Did everybody get a chance to look at the Zoning Board of Appeals minutes for September 18th, the draft of them? I looked through them. I didn't see any corrections or anything. Did you see something?
I saw one thing, at least on the version I looked at, it's public hearing for tonight was on 20, was on next week instead of...
Yeah, I changed that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
That's the only thing I saw.
All right. So I'll make a motion that we accept the draft meeting minutes for September 18th, 2024 as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay. We have, this is rare, we have no new applications. So we're going to go straight to the public hearings, and the first one that's...
Well, actually, since we do have the public hearings are supposed to start at 7:05, we'll have
Okay.
to delay until 7:05, just in case anybody from the public does want to come, and they're expecting to be. But we can go to just quickly old business. I can give you guys updates.
Sure.
For the Geyer, as you will remember, they had a public hearing opened in September. Planning board had some concerns, and they had asked us, the ZBA, to hold the public hearing open until they had a chance to further review it. Planning board has not had it just hasn't gone on the planning board's agenda. It will be on Monday's meeting, I believe. So that's been the hearing's been postponed until November. If the board would like to, so we had kind of had the public hearing set for November 20th. Not sure if the planning board's going to ask for design changes or not. It could be because of the concerns they have. If the CBA would like, they can start making some deliberations, or they can wait until we kind of get more direction from the planning board. It's up to you, however you'd like to do it. If I get deliberations tonight, I could potentially start drafting a resolution based on those, but it could change.
Yeah, I don't see it based upon what I'm hearing from the zoning board, or excuse me, the planning board. I don't think we'll be in a position to probably have a resolution before December.
Okay.
So, I mean, I prefer myself just to have more information from them and what they
It
discover.
makes sense. I think we had just tried, just because the applicant's going to be delayed, but, I think the planning board's concerns are a bit, so I'd like to kind of, it could be, the project could change.
And CPL still has to respond to planning board too, so.
Oh, okay.
And you guys into a site visit for that one yet either?
No. Right, so we'll just leave it open and we'll worry about it at the
Sure.
next meeting. Hopefully we'll have some more
And-
information.
And for Brookmead, I did reach out to Sean Kemp. So similar to Geyer, we had gotten a public hearing's been closed on Brookmead. We got an extension from the applicant to November 20th to issue a decision. I know the ZBA has asked for an attorney-client meeting. We weren't able to schedule that before this meeting. And we had also asked the applicant for a list of what events had taken place prior to the 2017 planning board approvals, which we have not gotten yet. So I did reach out to Sean Kemp, the attorney from Brookmead, and asked for an extension until December 18th, whatever the ZBA meeting is. And they did grant that extension. I'll keep, Gretchen and I might be able to keep after Sean on getting that 2017 list. And we can have an attorney-client meeting whenever you'd like. I don't know if you want to discuss it now, or if you want to,
I think
do it
just,
over email too.
yeah, I think do it over email, for me at least, because I have to check with the people in my office who run my life.
Yeah, for me, it seems that if we could have it just before we have our regular meeting, it's all one day for me, so. But I'll do whatever we can do.
Okay, sure.
We could do that. We could do it at 6 or something, or 5:30 or whatever.
Yeah, 5:30, 5, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we can double check with Gretchen as it gets a little closer to make sure we have a space that we can have it.
That's true, yeah.
And I'll check in with you guys as it gets a little closer, make sure that date still works. Maybe Gretchen and I can coordinate for where to have it.
Yeah, talk to Joe.
Okay. All right, it is 7:06. We can start on the public hearing.
We can, all right. So the first matter is the Meyerson matter. Is there somebody here for that? Come on up. I forget, Kim, do you want me to do the formal motion opening up the public hearing? or-
Yes, please.
All right, so I make a motion that we open up the public hearing on the Meyerson matter. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right.
Good evening, I'm Warren Smith, representing Bob Myerson and 656 LLC, located at 656 Route 308. At the last meeting, the zoning board had requested in rendering to show what the fence would look like behind the house, and provided it. And this was referred to the planning board, as is normally the case, for their comments. I think you received that. They had no concerns about the requested variances. They expressed concerns about the concept of putting a pool in the backyard altogether. And I shared those with the applicant, but he would like to proceed for the time being. So the application stands as it was presented to this board.
Yeah, they had issues of flooding issues and things like that.
Yeah, so it's just, so what the concerns were for the planning board was, so this is the wetlands, right? The EC, and so the pool is gonna be outside. Maybe a little, they mentioned that the fencing might be in the buffer zone, which might require DEC permits, just so you're aware.
Well, not EC, but it might require
Oh.
wetlands permit from the town.
Yeah, okay. But there, so this dotted line, see this red line
It's
right here?
very hard to see that, right, but there's
Yeah.
a line here which is the historical flood, so at some point in the past, there have been floodwaters to that point. In fact, a number of years ago, there were floodwaters in the basement of the Performing Arts Center, and they had to go to great lengths to put a system in to drain that out. So we all know that, floods are becoming more frequent, so forth and so on. And I did discuss, I shared those concerns with the applicant, my client, and he is aware of that. But certainly the application as currently proposed does not put anything in what's currently delineated as the floodway. So
Yeah, so the planning board just wanted to make the applicant aware of that and make the board aware of that as well.
And they did.
Question just for modification or clarification. It's my understanding that the fence goes right up to the border of the wetland.
I think they said the, here, I'll
if
get
you can show the
Yeah.
drawing.
May actually
there,
go into it slightly.
Yeah, it just tips it.
It would be
I think.
the
the,
site
no, not,
plan.
not, yeah, site plan, sorry.
The one on the far left, there you go. Right, so, I mean, there's a lot going on here, because right apart from the whole wetland issues, we have a zone we have to keep clear of from the septic system, which is, so that's what that cross-hatched area is. There's a septic tank and a septic field, which is totally in the area that could flood, but that's, this is a pre-existing non-conforming lot, and it might be if you were developing it today, you'd do a different thing, but that was back in the late 50s, early 60s. So anyway, the pool is outside the historic flood hazard area, and it's outside the wetland buffer, as is the patio. The fence around the pool area is shown as extending into the wetland setback and the buffer, not flood hazard area, but it is a mesh fence, so water could flow through in and out. It's not a stockaded picket fence. So my sense is it would have limited impact on any flooding, but again, the applicant hasn't made aware of the fact that the pool and pool equipment could be a hazard if, this area floods, as might his basement be. That's, again, the risk anytime you're developing a place for water to provide. But that dotted line is the outline of the proposed fence. And obviously the applicant would have the opportunity to bring the fence hard up against the pool, but that's not a very aesthetic way to handle the pool enclosure. And again, given that it's an open mesh fence and then water could move through it, it shouldn't pose a particular impact. We have to avoid the SDS pad, of course, but it shouldn't create a particular impact if there is water rising at something.
By the way, the renderings are quite nice. Good job. Thank you.
I guess I'd like to, the site visit will give you clarity on.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll mark things out on the ground for you.
Right, yeah, we need it all marked out, and then we did suggest before that we got the meeting going here that perhaps October 26th, so if you could discuss that with your client,
I'll just send that.
see if that's possible, but we are gonna have it, the fence marked out, the pool marked out.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Absolutely.
To throw a wrench in anything, but if you did it on the 27th on Sunday, showing.
No, we could do the 27th,
If
I
that
can-
was okay.
you cannot,
No,
and you're the one who's writing it, so.
Yeah. 26th.
Do you want to switch?
Nope, that's okay.
Little horse trading going on here.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Any questions, concerns?
Dry.
Yeah, and the renderings were, for me,
Yeah, yeah.
were really helpful. They're very well done. And that's why we asked for them, because it really gives us a very good idea of what we're looking at. All right, no questions, concerns, anything? All right, then now I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you know what that means. 62 days for a resolution, but we'll have it done by the next meeting. And yeah, and then hopefully we'll be out there on the 26th. So just let us know what's convenient. All
Does
right,
the board have any initial thoughts on this?
it's fine by me. Without having gone out there, obviously. I mean, that to me,
It looks pretty cut and dry.
It's-
Any letters from neighbors or anything? No. It's not that.
You really can't even see the neighbors, there's sufficient screening on the side.
Mhm.
and you're certainly not going to see it from the road because I've driven
No.
by it, and I never noticed the house until.
The house itself is set back, right?
Right, it's so
Screening
set
along the
back
front.
until I got this application and really looked for it,
Right.
you know,
Yes, look for it.
so.
Is it the first house after schoolhouse?
No, I don't think it is the first house, but it's pretty much opposite the driveway to the Performing Arts Center and the tennis.
Right,
It's right next
it's
to it.
kind of to the, if you
This
have the
right
back
here?
to it, yeah,
Right,
it's on your
yes.
right,
This right here
Yeah.
is the center,
yeah.
Oh,
and
uh-huh.
then this is
It's
308.
all gray court and then, yeah,
Right.
But if you're driving by, you're not going to notice the house either, so,
right.
unless you're really looking.
Yeah, I mean, initial thoughts.
My initial thoughts without, see what the site visit says, but I'm okay with it.
They want to build a pool in a flood zone, and so this is not mine. The only thing I pay attention to is the wetlands, so property lines. We'll see that. pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
and we usually have in the resolution that says that, granting the area variance doesn't absolve the client from, or the applicant from getting other permits if they need it. So if they need something from the town, or they need something from DEC, they're still required to obtain
Right.
those.
Yeah, it's only the fence that's going to be potentially impeding a bit. Actually, what's more concerning is the septic where it is, but what are you going to do?
Well, I mean, if you look
It's
at the
been there
neighbor's
for-
property, they have a lot of development that's in the flood zone. so-
That's not before us. so
I know that.
Anyway. All right, so the next and last public hearing is the Hines matter, and I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing on the matter of Christopher Hines. Do I have a second? See all in favor? Aye. All right.
Aye.
Take it away.
Good evening, Mark Kravitsky, I'm representing Wildercliff LLC. It's owned by Christopher and Laura Hines. It's an application to this board for the area variance for location of an accessory structure. Will be a pool pavilion located in the front yard of the principal residence. Tim, if you could go to my site, just do a quick overview. I know I went through it last time. East side of the property is bounded by Mill Road. North side is Warren Road. Principal dwelling is located right here. There's an existing pool that's located right here. And the subject of this application is for a pool pavilion located here. So it is in the front yard of Mill Road. Front yard setback for principal residence in Mill Road is 200 feet. This is 157 feet and change setback from Mill Road, but also more importantly, it's located in front of the principal residence. So the application is twofold. I said, so there's a pool pavilion, there's also some landscaping that's associated with it. At the same time, this application requires consideration by the Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board for site plan and special permit. That public hearing is actually this coming Monday for that. And so, and it's multiple items for a special permit, and that handles actually the number and size of the accessory structures on this property, since it's located in the HP 20 zoning district. So number and total floor areas for accessory structures is handled by a special permit with the planning board when located in HP 20 zoning district. There's actually a formula for determining total allowable floor area for that. So that's under, and actually we're under the threshold for that, so that's actually not one of the special permit applications to the planning board. There's been a site visit with the planning board, they have it prior to the planning board meeting on Monday night, and have, we've looked at, they looked at it from both on-site through here and also from Mill Road. There was I had this discussion with this board last time. There was, interest from the planning board as, allowing certain view sheds to remain from Mill Road for the location of the structure, and that has been presented in all the application materials. At our last meeting, you requested some renderings, which we've included for our resubmission. So here is the west elevation. It's Hudson River over here, right? And so you get to take a look at this. This is part of the enclosure for the pool. Here's the existing pool, utilizing stone walls, and in this case, it's a glass fence so that views remain to the river. Location of it, here's the location of the structure. Mill Road is on the back side. We can go through the renderings, and then if you recall, I can take you through the site plan. With this pool pavilion, there's some open areas. When I say open, it's not. It's still roofed, and it's protected by a roof, but it's actually open. It's not an enclosed area in this section to here. It's actually mechanical. There's a mechanical room over here, and then a gym that's located over here, and then this hot tub through here for the pool. Pool equipment is located right there, and then the main residence is right over here.
What was in the foreground of that? Is that just all lawn?
Yes, this is all lawn through here. There's also so I can go. Richard, I can go to some plan views as we go through this. You'll be able to see it as we go through the drawings. But this is all on, open all the way, not all the way down, but quite a ways. There's to the crest of the hill, and then drops down to the river and to the railroad tracks.
So, Mark, when you look at the site plan here, how much is open and how much is enclosed? I didn't realize it was this open.
Yes.
These renderings are fantastic, by the way. Again, very, very helpful.
So, Kim, if you could, Scott, can I take you through the renderings?
Sure, absolutely.
Because the floor plan is after that.
Yeah, I know, it's at the,
Yeah.
I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah. Right. So this is just this is a entry garden approach, right? So I mentioned that there'll be an entry garden here, principal residence over here, stone wall, the access gate through here, here's the pool, right? And so once again, here's that open area that I was referencing. It's, there's this, back here, this is and I'll get to it with the floor plan. Here's a mechanical room back here for some storage, and then this area is the gym. Just another view looking, this is north elevation, right, pool. This, once again, here's that outside space, that's covered, that has a roof covered into it. East elevation, this is the elevation when you stand on Mill Road to look in, right? Assuming this gives you, it doesn't, this particular rendering doesn't show the vegetation through here. Once I get into some of the other drawings, it'll show vegetation here, but this is a stone wall through here, and then it's a certain vine that they have that'll be on this stone wall to help screen that. South elevation, right? So pool's right here. This is that gymnasium area here, through here, hot tub through here. So, Scott, this is enclosure here, right? So it's a mechanical room and a bathroom.
And everything else is open pretty much?
This is open here, same thing here, right? So here's the gym, right? And then there's a dining and dining area, eating area here. So this is an enclosure. This is it, and this is an enclosure.
So the gym is open into the dining room?
Yes.
No doors or anything?
No doors. Right, so.
So part of this is seasonal?
Yes, it's very much seasonal. And I know that at our last meeting, there was, a question of, is it an accessory structure as a dwelling unit? And so and that question was also posed by the planning board. And the design of this was intentional. The goal was to show that it was not an accessory structure. The residence has 6 bedrooms, and then if you recall on my site plan, and it talked about, it was a previous application with this board, there's a barn located to the west. In that barn is 2 bedrooms. They have 8 bedrooms on the property right now. They're not interested in having another structure with a bedroom. That's not the intent at all. And so, it was, part of the rationale and the philosophy was, this is it's a 13 by 31 foot area, right? Just, obviously a space for a gymnasium and not some place to reside. And also what the goal was to try to further, emphasize and strengthen that, the argument that it's not, is that there's, bathroom is over here. You have to go outside. This is an open hallway through here. You have to go outside, and you notice, and so, there's a door there to the bathroom. So it's not the intent to have it as an accessory structure with a dwelling unit.
Yeah, I don't think that came through the first time around, how open it was.
Right, yeah, so, that's the goal. Kim, can we just go through the other slides, because it will get into some of the landscaping slides also.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right.
Let me know when you want me to
Yeah,
stop.
this is just a roof plan. They actually have, they're proposing a green roof, so it'll be planted. Right, and so right. Next slide, please. These are, those elevations that we just went through with the renderings, right? So this is the, the west elevation. Next one, please. South elevation. East elevation, once again, this one is from Mill Road, looking at the pavilion. Next slide, and there's the north elevation also. And so now it gets into some of the, you can go to the next slide, please. right? And so this gives an idea of screening, existing screening on the property along with, and we'll go through these photos to get some, there's actual photographs of that was included too, right? So here's the pool, patio, and here's the, this is the pool right here, both enclosed and open areas. And so this is, there's existing trees here and vegetation. It's right along Mill Road. The idea is that, it's a bit overgrown with some brambles and other vegetation. But you can see through here that there's an actual, there's a view corridor that the planning board is asked to maintain, and it goes to the river. You go to the next slide, please.
And through the view, you wouldn't be able to see the building, right? It's kind of framed.
No, it'll be, as we go through the slides, there's going to be some additional plantings that are going to occur to help screen the location of the building. These are just some examples of the different, this is for, the different materials that are going to be used. This is, wall type. These are some of the pathways through the garden. This is going to be the fencing. That's going to be right here, right? So there's additional fencing, required for security to meet all the requirements, for a pool. But it'll just be a post and open wire through there. And once again, this section will be glass through here. Next slide, please. Just a similar view. Right. This is where I mentioned the view corridor that the planning board wanted to retain, so for view to the river. But now you can start to see some of my photographs through here. And this is a photograph where the view remains. As you go to the north through here, and we can go back to my site plan later, but you can see it's pretty well screened right now, but there'll be additional plantings. Next slide, please. Right here. So now these areas here, this is showing existing trees. I just located specimen trees, but there's some shrubs through here and some, I'll just call it bramble. It's just some weeds and multiflora rose that's growing through here. But so there's some additional plantings for screening, and then also this is the view corridor that's been requested to be maintained. So this will be mowed and maintained. That was a request by the planning board. This is an example of some of the lighting fixtures, all downlit lighting, dark sky compliant, very little lighting associated with both the garden area and the structure itself.
What's within that extra fencing down there I guess that's to the south of the building, yeah?
Right there.
Yeah, is it, it seems as if there's a lot more being fenced in than just the pool area.
Yeah, it is. Well, so they were trying to use topography to hide the fence, right? So, okay,
Yeah.
so that was the idea. Right there where that square rectangle is, that's where the pool will be.
The pool what?
Pool equipment.
Uh-huh.
I think that's it, right? Is that?
Yeah, that's the end of the, did you want to go back to the?
Yeah, if we could go back to my site plan, I could just show,
Oh,
because I have those photos, right? So I took a whole series of photos, so if you could go up to, we'll just, and so they're basically, that one is, they're basically in order as you start north and head south.
And then you go south, yeah.
Right, so could you zoom into those photos? That's good.
yeah.
Thank you. All right. You can see, there's quite a bit of vegetation there, so, and it'll be supplemented to provide adequate screening as you, right? And so then, this is photo number 3. This is where you start to, maintain those views to the river. right? So the proposal is to keep all existing vegetation and then just supplement it again. Last thing, so I know last application you talked about approvals. So I mentioned approvals by the planning board for site plan special permit. No access approvals, right? We already have access from Morton Road. The only other approval is by Dutchess County Department of Health because we will have a bathroom. And so we're going to utilize the existing septic system for that.
It wasn't pumped kind of across the,
Yeah, we're going to pump it.
yeah.
We're going to pump it to a pump station. But it was a previously approved and design plan that accommodated a pool house. So it's, the only improvement is mechanical equipment, tank and pump tank at the pool house, and that's it. No modifications to the absorption field. Once again, that was one of the reasons to truly have the intent not to have an additional, dwelling unit. If there was an additional dwelling unit, it would require a modification of the absorption field, which would be a big deal.
But this septic system has nothing to do with the main house, it's only that was there for the old.
So this septic system, originally, there was a, we won't call it a pool house, but there was a bathroom. It was a historic structure, it was the playhouse on the property.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Right, and they use that as a bathroom. And so now, this septic system accommodates the main residence, which is 6 bedrooms, and at the time it was designed to accommodate, the bathroom for the pool house.
Oh,
And so we'll retain that. It'll just be new mechanical equipment to get the effluent there.
So you have to pump it to a pump house. How
Yeah,
far?
it's about 200 feet.
You gotta bury it
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
4
So,
feet?
excuse me?
How far, do you have to bury it 4 feet for frost or? no?
Yeah, and so it may be more than that because, so what I do is
Is that the slopes?
typically in my designs for a pump station, I always pump up, right? And so when you shut the pumps off, where the pump is, I have a loophole above the check valve, it drains back. So you don't have to worry about the effluent freezing in the line.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So we will be deep, it'll constantly going up, and it'll, pump to the existing pump station, and then pump shuts off, it drains. But there will be 3 feet of cover. Health department requires that.
And that's why you, oh,
That's right.
okay.
Okay, that's all I have to say. Any questions from the board?
Questions, concerns?
well, just a question, but you say you always pump up, that's what the pumps are for. There's no reason to pump if you were using gravity system.
But so sometimes, it's a constant, I have it as a constant, right? Say you pump to a high point, I would pump to a high point, and then I utilize gravity flow from there, for example, right? Because if you have a a line like that, you can get some air pockets in there that can create an issue with
For me, it's counterintuitive, but in an aqueduct, you would go up. You're using gravity, but I understand why you are doing this.
Right.
How big is this system anyway? It must be really big for
It is.
6 bedrooms and.
It is. It's right by the. It's bigger than the tennis courts.
What, the field?
Yeah, the absorption field is huge. Because soils are not well drained in that area. They're poorly drained soils.
Because I got a pretty big one for 3 bedroom, 4
Right.
bedrooms. so.
Yeah.
Any concerns from Alan Shear on the south? That's what borders on the south?
On the south, I believe. Let's see.
Shear, I think he's on the town board.
No, right there. No.
Alan and Lynn.
No?
No, it's, no, well,
But anyway.
so we have a public hearing on Monday.
Oh, so is it?
So as of now, there have been, no concerns, but a planning board public hearing will be on Monday. Well, this was advertised also.
Right.
No concerns.
No concerns. Well, thank you very much for the presentation, and it's a beautiful structure, and I'm glad you explained more about the openness of it, because that allayed my concerns that it could be a lived-in, year-round kind of thing, which clearly it cannot be.
Right.
I was putting four walls, I mean, put walls in after the fact.
Desperate. With a lot of
Did they put in a new
projects.
septic system for the barn? They must have put in a separate septic for the
It's a
barn.
separate septic system for the barn. It goes, after it goes to the south.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's right along that ridge before it drops down to the river. So there was an existing septic system for the barn.
Oh,
Well, there
good.
was.
It was existing, we repaired it, but it was an
It was
existing
there.
one. Yeah.
So Mark, October 26th,
Anytime.
okay. Anyway, I don't have any questions or concerns, but what about the rest of the board? And no. All right, I'll make a motion that we close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.
62 days,
Okay.
but it'll be at the next meeting, and we'll see you on the 26th at either 11 or 12 or,
Just let me know.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Does the board have any other discussions on this? They have opinions on this application?
Other than I want to live there.
What's the last time?
Yeah, I wanted to live there last time.
I'll live in the
No.
barns.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful project, and again, the only concerns I really had was that the first time around, maybe I was being obtuse. I didn't realize the openness of the thing, and because of the size and what was in there, I had a concern that it could be a lived-in structure, and clearly it cannot.
Oh, it could be a summer lived-in structure.
It could be a summer lived-in structure.
Couple
So-
walls and it could be a full structure. It wouldn't be-
Right, well, but the way it is now, it clearly isn't, and the openness is really lovely, the whole, it's very nice, so,
I think the main concern is what we see from Mill Road, which I don't think is going to be.
it's not gonna be much.
As I said, I mean,
Yeah, you know.
I know it
better
pretty
than
well,
I
but
do.
I don't know how high that is going to stand. That would be good to have a height on that when we go see the site visit.
I think you had asked, somebody had, Brian, I think, asked that question.
I don't know that was, but that is something that's a very good idea. And we've done that in the past, so maybe we can ask Mark to have something. I remember the place that was right on the river there in Brine Cliff, and we.
Yes. Yeah.
And we put that out, that was very instructive of
Yeah.
how high. So is there a way that maybe you can ask Mark to? Okay.
It was somebody smarter than me on this. It was either Catherine, was one, yeah.
Well, it's really probably any one of
This is the
us.
second time I said it. Nobody listened the first time.
Did you see that?
That was so easy. You can't give me
Did you
softballs.
see that photo that Scott that I sent from Santa Barbara? Where they, I think I sent it to all you guys, yeah, where they outlined the whole shape of the building with,
Oh, that's what it was.
yeah, with flags and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think you were gonna show it to the planning board. I mean, it's, for certain projects, it'd be really useful.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
to just say that we have the right to ask for that if we feel like it's really necessary.
Yeah. And I think that's a very good point, because in certain projects, it's exceedingly important.
You can't really tell.
Yeah.
I mean, or I can't.
You can't visualize it until you see it.
Yeah, they did that for the cell tower thing. They had a crane there with it.
Right,
Yeah.
that's right,
Yeah,
that's
they
exactly
did.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this was very long, it seems, from north to south, and it's right near that view shed that they want to keep, so, it would be good to see a height, I guess.
All righty. I think that does it for our agenda, unless somebody has Anything else? Kim, do you have anything else you want to tell us about, or?
No, no.
All right. I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?